it is time now to come to maybe not the final agreement, but a bigger package which would be acceptable for both sides. And many people have written about this proposal, French-German proposal. I think this is a great opportunity, and I will really ask each and everyone who is in power, who can make decisions, that they look very carefully, very thoughtfully into this proposal. I think this is a great chance really to move forward on both sides and to move into towards this EU integration on what I think it's absolutely necessary, and Kosovo is the pro-European country, should be in favor of that. Well, I think the French-German proposal is a new one and needs, I mean, as all compromises, it needs a political will. But what I know from this, it's a great chance to push Kosovo forward on the international and the European, let's say, path. It would be a huge progress for each and everyone in this country, and you would really see that on the European and international level, Kosovo would face a different, let's say, different phase of recognition. And that's why I think this is a big opportunity. It is not 100%, as all the compromises will never be 100%, but it's much more than I would expect, let's say, a couple of months ago, when the dialogue have just started and actually there was a stalemate for quite some years. But maybe one should see what is better for my country. Is it better to ask for everything at the moment, or to ask for 90% and then move forward? I could imagine for the people here in Kosovo, it would be better to get the 90% than nothing. This is my recommendation. But maybe people in the country would perceive this differently. But this is not up to me to decide. I can just share my personal recommendation, how I would decide and why I think this is a window of opportunity when the government or the majority in Congress will change, when we will see even more, let's say, right-wing parties taking over in the European Union. The situation will not become easier. We will see that the EU presidency from Sweden will go to Spain. Will this make things easier in the European Union? I don't think so. So everything which could be settled right now, it would be, I think, a better deal and a better solution for this country than everything which would be postponed. I mean, there's a good argument for extending the period, but I also share not the frustration, but the assessment of the Kosovo government, who says, well, in the end, this will be extended forever. At some point, we have to make a decision and say, we need to implement what we have said 11 or 12 years ago. And the Serbian side was aware of that. Nevertheless, nobody has an interest in any kind of a provocation or any kind of, I would say, aggression somewhere in the country. So what we need to see is, even if we stick to the deadline 31st of October, that we have a, let's say, smooth phase out of, smooth phase in into the new phase. And you can be very creative in thinking of how to implement the new rule and what does it mean. What kind of warning you indicate, what are kind of fines you give to those respective people who have not changed their license plate and so on and so forth. I mean, you really delivered on everything which is related to Visa Lab. You have fulfilled the criteria. The new revised report of the Commission is extremely positive. I read through this. There's nothing what they criticized. I think either in the middle of November or the beginning of December. But There is a question of, will this immediately lead to the new visa waiver system? And this might come with additional conditions, which I think would be absolutely unfair and cannot be justified. Or will we see then finally a date when visa liberalization would be granted to Kosovo, which I think is overdue and should happen immediately. So I think these are the two options which are now on the table. Apart from France, for different, as I said, domestic reasons, not rooted here, we saw more countries having reservations than just France. So why is this the case? I can't tell you. Some of the countries will face elections. Some of the countries have other, questions regarding their own domestic security.